Welcome to Tehachapi, the City of Tehachapi's podcast, where we share conversations with local leaders, business owners, and community members. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to follow and subscribe to learn something new and discover ways to get involved in our community.
Hello and welcome back to Tehachapi. Maya Acosta here with members of our Tehachapi Community Theater Association because it's almost time for Sound of Music. So I would like to welcome Chris Morales, our director for the show. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
And we have Ben Baldassarre, our Captain Von Trapp for the show. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Maya. How's it going?
Good. And we have Jamie Uhtoff, not Uhtoff.
Correct. Very good. Yes.
Who will be playing Maria. So welcome, everybody. So glad to have you guys in.
It's fun. Thanks for having us. We appreciate that.
Yes, of course. So, as I said, we're here to talk about Sound of Music debuting August 22nd, which is right around the corner.
It is.
I remember seeing this, on the calendar of shows way back near the start of the year, and I'm like, oh, that's so far away. But here it is. And I'm sure that feels even more like, oh gosh, here it is for you guys.
It's almost panicky, because we had auditions in April. No, we didn't. We had auditions in March. No, we had them in March because the nuns were rehearsing in April. So we had auditions in March, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people know Sound of Music. You've grown up with it or at least heard about it. And so I decided to do auditions old school. And I had them at my studio, White Rabbit Studio here in town. And I made it so that everybody came in and you didn't get to watch your kid or your friend or spouse or what have you audition. Back in the day when you auditioned, you just didn't get to do that. And so I kept everybody separate from the auditioners. And some of the people were like, well, no, this is not how you do it in Tehachapi. I'm like, yeah, this is how you do it. So we did that, and it was amazing. We had 3 days of auditions, and we had over 70 people audition. And so I think it's going to be forever called the Night of 1,000 Liesels, because every girl wanted to be Liesel von Trapp. Mm-hmm. And there's only one,
right?
So you have to break a lot of hearts. But what was really kind of cool about it was so many people came out, so many young girls came out just because they'd heard of it or their parents heard of it or their grandparents, and they were of that age, 16, 17 years of age, and they thought, I want to be Liesel von Trapp, Von Trapp. And some could sing and some couldn't, but it didn't matter. They got out there and they did it. And we got Ben who auditioned, which we were so excited to have him. And there was a bunch of other guys that wanted to audition, but not too many captains. We don't have a lot of men that come to our auditions. Mm-hmm. They are either really old and they don't fit the part, which is fine. There's older parts, or they're just super young and they're not old enough, right? And then you've got to get people who can sing because it's a musical. So it's a really big deal. But we were fortunate. Ben auditioned. We cast Ben, and Jamie auditioned, and a bunch of women auditioned for Maria. But Maria is a special type. Like, Jamie is very special.
I'm not sure that's a compliment.
Is there a bless for that? No. Anyways, but it's a special character. It's a special role. And not every person can audition for that. Plus, it's crazy amount of singing. It's nuts, the amount of singing. That, along with the woman that plays Abbess, Mother Abbess in the show, which is Blaine Hartsock. And killer voice. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, in heaven.
Amazing.
Right?
She makes me cry. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, it's the show with what we have here in the studio and Blaine singing. That's the show. Who cares about the kids? No, I'm just kidding. Everybody loves kids. I'm just kidding. But that really is what carries the show. Plus, everybody knows the song 1617, So Long Farewell, and, Lonely Goatherd and Edelweiss. You know all those songs. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of magical that so many people came out to audition. I had a lot of hearts to break when I had to tell people that they couldn't make it. But the cast, even though 70 came out, our cast is about 35 people.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's insane. Good thing you guys got that expansion, right? Maybe a little bit of space, kind of.
Yeah. The props get to live in there.
Yeah. We're not allowed back there.
Yeah, we're not allowed back there quite yet.
Yeah.
We're working on it, but we're not there yet. But, yeah, so we have 35 people in this cast. So it's very big. And if you've ever been, and Maya, when you've gone to the theater and you've gone backstage, there is all of maybe less than a tiny house that is back there for everybody to live in with their clothes and props and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate that Jamie came back to town and she's part of TCTA again. I'm very fortunate that Ben has joined us. I'm fortunate that we're looking forward to you being in some more shows. You got a couple of sidekicks that I'm watching right now. We're hoping that maybe they might want to get involved one day. So TCT is a wonderful place, and I'm very thankful to the city for letting us have this building to do some amazing work.
Well, and that's what you guys do. You bring so many great stories to life, and each and every show is just, I think it blows people away by the talent and the types of stories and different emotions that are evoked on stage there. It's wonderful. But I'm curious to hear a little bit more, Jamie. You'd mentioned before we started recording that you went away for a little bit and now you're back in Tehachapi, back with TCTA. Tell us a little bit about your experiences, both, TCTA years ago and where you've been in the last 2 years.
Sure, yeah. I wish I could say I went to Hawaii, but that's not the story. No, it's actually better. So I've been a teacher for a long time, about 21 years. I've taught at Valley Oaks Charter School right here in town. Fabulous school. And I was doing community theater here for a long time. I lived in Bear Valley for about 9 years. And I was in shows like The Drowsy Chaperone. I played The Drowsy Chaperone. I was in Young Frankenstein with Chris. Chris played Igor.
Hello, Master.
And I played Inga. Hello. Rolling the Hay was really, really fun. And Moon Over Buffalo was my last one that I did. Putnam Bee. So I was, in quite a few. And I loved it. It's so fun that I thought, I want to pursue acting professionally. And I've been training with Howard Fine Acting Studio for a long time, since the pandemic. And I thought, I'm gonna do it. So my husband and I picked up. We moved to Santa Clarita. Not LA, but, close enough. Still need my trees. I still need my, stars at night. And pursued acting. But, it's an interesting industry right now. There was a lot of, what's it called? Strikes. There was lots of strikes. And so there wasn't a lot of work for a while. And then here's the downside of the podcast. I'm so sorry. But my dad got cancer. And so everything kind of stopped. And for 2.5 months, we battled this, horrible cancer for my dad. And he did pass, which is awful. Just so everyone knows, grief is a whole nother. I'm an emotional actor. Never experienced grief like this. And then, of course, my mom, her health started going downhill. And she was living in Bear Valley. So I moved back up to be close to my mom, take care of her. And then she passed, 9 months later. Here's the crying. It's fine. But I joined Sound of Music. I auditioned. I don't need a tissue. I love crying. Thank you, though. I auditioned for Sound of Music to hopefully extend, my mom's life. And because Mom and Dad went to every single show all the time. Super supportive. And I got in the show. She passed right after. And so I got to experience grief during rehearsal. And it was difficult, but the cast was amazing. They were so supportive. Chris is a fantastic director and best friend.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. And I got through it. It was a little, rough and sad at times, but I got my light back, and I'm very excited to bring Maria. And I'm going to use my mom and my dad in my storytelling. And so it's going to be very truthful acting, which I love. So I'm very excited.
Yeah. And I mean, you say how supportive the cast is. And that's something that we hear, through almost every show, is that TCTA and the cast and crew really do just become a family, you know? Once you start, you're with each other
all the time.
All the time.
Months and months, yeah.
In small spaces.
In very small spaces.
Yeah.
You really get to know people very, very closely.
Absolutely.
But I think that's one of the valuable aspects to TCTA is maybe if you're new to town or looking for new ways to get involved, there's something for everybody with TCTA. You can attest to that, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. It's like, theater is almost like a home away from home or a church for some people. It accepts everybody without condition. Without question, If you feel like you're an outcast in any way, shape, or form, theater is a wonderful place to go. If you're an artist of any kind, whether it's painting or building or electrical or sound or acting or singing or all that kind of stuff, it's a home for you. If you're an awkward person, I was very, very shy when I was a kid. I wouldn't even come out of my room. But there was something about theater. There was something about the imagination and bringing something to life, here. Nowadays, kids have AI and they have streaming and they have their iPads and all that kind of fun stuff, right? You didn't have that when I was a kid. You had your bedroom and, I used a toilet paper roll for a microphone. That was,
You didn't have a hairbrush?
I didn't. I had very curly hair and you couldn't put a brush through it. So I had a pick. I had a hair pick.
Yes.
But, it's those things that, you learn from, and then that kind of makes you who you are. And then when you get to be with people who have experience, like with Ben, who has dance experience and other experience in the entertainment field, and Jamie with her experience, you start finding your family, you start finding your peeps. And that kind of gives you that confidence in that place to belong. And then it's up to you to cultivate that, then it's up to you to keep your place there and to respect and to always be open and willing to learn from other people, because the ego now becomes like the really big dog in the house. And the ego could kill theater, and it could kill relationships in theater very quickly. So you always have to try to put those in check and put them aside. It's not easy to do that, but that's important. But staying open, learning, being willing. This guy, you should see what we do with this guy on stage.
We're terrible.
This has been a learning experience for me. I mean, I was nervous getting this role. Chris had asked me to audition for Sound of Music, which I hadn't really considered because I don't consider myself much of a singer. And I have a good speaking voice, but I never considered my singing voice to be that amazing. So I was like, no, I'm not going to be in a musical theater. I'll just do regular theater. But she convinced me, like, come to the auditions, come try it out, whatever. And since I've had Chris and Guy, our voice coach, and I've worked with Jamie, just the two of us a few times, both on my singing voice and acting exercises, on getting into the character, on really working off of each other's energy. So it's really been this amazing learning experience. And just like Chris was saying, I just try to stay open, try to listen to those who are much better singers than I am, tell me how to breathe, how to sing. And I feel like I've made some big progress, and hope everybody enjoys my rendition of Edelweiss.
Well, it brought us to tears.
Okay.
Yeah,
it did.
It did. It brought us to tears.
And Ben is very humble. He's very open, which I really appreciated, because I do have quite a bit of training down in LA. I was doing, films, and it was very fun. I have a whole community down there, and you were very open to me saying, let's do this little exercise. I'm going to throw a pillow at you, and you're going to throw it back.
Yeah.
But it helps. And you returned the favor by teaching me how to dance. That was fantastic.
It's been so much fun. Yeah, I've also acted as the dance choreographer for the piece. I've choreographed 4 or 5 dances.
Yeah, 16, 17.
16, 17.
No Way to Stop It.
No Way to Stop It. How Will Love Survive.
The Lindell.
Lindler.
Yeah, we never say it right.
Yeah, we always say Lindell.
And it's one of my lines, I have to say.
Yes.
But they always say it weird, and so hopefully
I was
I'll
thinking
say
of the chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Lindt.
No, that doesn't help.
Because that's not it either.
No.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
It's
Lindler.
chocolate.
Yes, it's the Lindler.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been choreographing that, and yeah, it's been great.
And then we also had Mindy
Yes.
from J&M Dance Studio. She did.
Yeah, she did Goat Herd and So Long Farewell.
Yes, fabulous.
She was like, how many hours do you need, Mindy? Oh, she's just a couple hours, and we'll knock them both out. I'm like, I have 7 children and Jamie.
Hold on. I can move a little bit.
How are we going to do that in a couple of hours?
And we did.
But she did it.
She did it.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
And there's so many more moving parts and components to a musical than there is, I would say, to just a play, right? You have to learn all of the songs and the dancing and the choreography, I should say, and how that all fits together. Also while memorizing lines, right?
Absolutely.
So you guys started with auditions in March. Is that kind of the typical timeline for a musical, or is it just because this is Sound of Music, it's a massive show, you need a good deal of time to prepare and get everything, ready to a T?
It's usually, most people like to do a musical in 3 to 4 months, but when you're in a small community like this, you don't get the opportunity to have a lot of people to choose from. And then you have a lot of volunteers, and you need people to build sets. And you need to sort of think about the tech part of a show. And so when you live in a small community, you're just tiny little barrel of select people that can do that, because you also don't have a very big budget. Like the budget for Sound of Music, just for the props, the set, and the costumes was $1,800.
Wow.
That's it, right? And you're like, okay. I just heard over in Bakersfield, Scarlet Pimpernel, that only ran for a couple of weekends, the budget for the costumes was $8,000.
Wow.
Right? So, I'm telling Crystal Wheeler, who's our costumer, you get $500 to do 70 outfits. Make it work,
More than 70 probably,
more than
because
70?
we have 35 people, and I have 10 outfits.
Whoa.
The kids have
4, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you. Whatever.
You know?
The kids
So-
have a lot too. They're
Yeah.
changing changing nonstop.
4 or 5 outfits each.
More, I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a whole set of costume outfits for the kids. They
That's
needed
right.
all
The
matching
curtain
outfits
clothes.
because they're made out of curtains in the play. She says, "Oh, I made the kids' play clothes out of the curtains in my room." So
Right.
we needed them all to match. So we had several of the ladies who volunteer actually sewed them for us.
Nuns.
Yeah, the nuns.
Opal.
Blaine, Opal, Crystal,
Joanna.
Wow.
All have joined in to sew and actually physically make the clothes for the kids.
Yeah, so it's an undertaking. So 6 to 7 months, Young Frankenstein was the worst winter ever. It was horrible. And we did that in 7 months. And we all got sick at the end. Well, she didn't, but most of us got sick at the very end. But you got to remember that too. When you have a large cast, you have to think of understudies and do we have enough people to sing to make the show? Because you've got some pretty big characters. You've got Mother Abbess, you've got Maria, you've got Ben, you've got 7 kids, right? And you've got Elsa. And Max, Tim Garrison, right? So you've got these major characters that carry this play from beginning to end who all have to sing. And you've got to make sure that nobody gets sick.
Right. Knock on wood. Yeah.
I am knocking on every head. I'm knocking. So you have to plan that. And then you've got to plan your technical people too. And then you've got to plan your set. And you've got to start thinking about that because the BK, as you know, Maya, is very limited in what we can do with that stage.
Yeah, and it's always impressive. I mean, there's so many people involved in these shows, and they all are very equally highly responsible for carrying their character or bringing the set to life or whatever it may be. And Chris, you mentioned understudies, and for Sound of Music, there is an understudy for Maria. Can we talk a little bit about that and who's going to also grace the stage as Maria?
Yes, well, Rihanna Medina is going to grace the stage as Maria as Jamie Uhtoff's understudy. And we're fortunate that Rihanna also auditioned because she hadn't really been on the stage for a little while since Best of Broadway, I think a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And so I contacted her and I said, I would really like you to audition. And so she did. And then when Jamie's mother had passed, I was thinking, oh, no. So I asked Maria to be the understudy just in case Jamie was having some hard times. We want to be supportive. But at the same time, you're looking at a show with, people coming and paying good money and it's for the community. So you got to be aware and think about those things as a director or just think about those things. And so Jamie was open to it. Rihanna was open to it. We had a discussion about it and they don't take turns at the rehearsals because it's kind of tricky because Rihanna also plays a nun and she's got a great part as a nun and she's got an amazing singing voice. So if I take, Rihanna out, if Jamie can't be there, then I got to replace a nun, right? So it becomes a domino.
She's Sister Margareta.
Yeah, she's Sister Margareta, like Margarita.
No.
She's a little limey.
Yeah.
So, but it's a domino effect. You got to, do all of that. So luckily, Jamie's doing phenomenal, fantastic. Rihanna is going to be, I know, here's your money. Rihanna is going to be amazing, but they are 2 different Marias. So I do encourage, if you do see Sound of Music, see it twice. Jamie's going to be doing it for the majority of the run, but Rihanna is going to be doing it on, 29th of August.
Yeah, August 29th and September 13th.
That's right.
But don't trust us. Look when you buy tickets.
Wait till
Make
I
sure
say.
you see it. Yeah. And she's going to be fabulous. I talked to Chris and I was very stressed out, with grief. And I thought, I just need a little bit of a safety net just in case. It's such a big show. And Rihanna is fabulous. She's so good. She's wonderful with the children, wonderful with me, with the nuns. And we actually did a play years ago together, Princess Kim. It was based on a children's book. And I played the teacher in the classroom. And she was one of my students. And this is cool.
How old are you, Jamie?
I'm I'm a little bit older than Maria, but that's okay. I have the heart of a
10-year-old.
Yes.
That's right. You
And
do.
it's not just seeing 2 different women play Maria. It changes the performance of everyone else in the cast as well. I mean, my performance I know changes based on who I'm playing opposite. So when I'm playing Jamie, it's different. She gives me different energy. And they're both amazing, both so much fun to work with.
Yeah, I think that's what's always interesting about casting is not always necessarily just okay, who's the perfect role for this specific part, but how do they work with the other characters that they have to interact with, right? If it's clearly an uncomfortable chemistry between 2 characters that maybe seem like good fits on their own, it's maybe not the best casting fit, right?
That's
Is
right.
that something that you've
It
experienced?
is. You want to cast strong and you want to cast well. It may not be a person that has a lot of experience, but like Ben, doesn't have a lot of stage experience, okay? But what he brings to the table is a strong will to learn. And what he brings to the table is the ability to be humble and be open. And that's what you're looking for in any actor. Now, you're going to have people who have a lot of experience. Jamie's got a lot of experience.
I'm not as open.
Not but you want to look for that, because if you have someone with a lot of experience, sometimes people with a lot of experience have huge egos.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep going down a rabbit hole with you,
Okay, no
Jamie.
problem.
But no, but
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, they have huge egos, and they feel like they know a lot or they know too much, and they want to take over. And as a director, you can't allow that to happen. But with community theater, you're at the mercy of everybody being a volunteer, and you're at the mercy of being very PC, and you're at the mercy of being very diplomatic all the time, because you just do one thing, and the next thing you know, you got someone complaining about you, and it becomes a virus. So you want to cast strong, and you want to cast well, so that you can keep that down, because there's always going to be drama in any production that you do.
Oh, I mean, it's in the name. It is drama.
We're very passionate people.
It's dramatic.
But you know,
great
also,
people.
Chris, you want
What?
to surround
yeah.
yourself with, especially community theater in a small town.
Yes.
Surround yourself with people you can trust.
Right.
You know, Liz Teedy and I
Yeah.
have done so much theater, musical theater, and I've been in Bakersfield, Stars Theater, Bright Star, Catch Me If You Can, Best of the Whorehouse in Texas, a lot of shows up there. So when you're kind of trying to put together this huge undertaking of Sound of Music, it really pays off to have people that have done a lot of these. I've done lots of choreography. I've done all this stuff. So
Right. And Liz Teedy, you mentioned Liz.
Oh, yes.
Liz
Fabulous.
Teedy's been around here. She's going to sing the national anthem, by the way, at the Mountain Festival, so be prepared for that.
Oh,
She's
I didn't know
phenomenal.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I'll be announcing.
nice.
So,
Very good.
but Liz is fantastic. And just like Jamie said, and just like Jamie and Ben, very open, very understanding, very willing, bring to the table their experience, their strength and hope, if you want to put that out there, to make Sound of Music phenomenal. And the best thing about that is kids. When kids are in shows like that, this is the best training ever. It's free, for corn's sake, right? I mean, you get choreography, you get singing, you get acting, you get ensemble work, you understand the stage, you understand awareness of theater and an audience. I mean, you get all of that for free as a kid. And if you're ever going to go into this business, as these two know and I know, theater is where it begins. The
Absolutely.
stage is where it begins. No one's going to make it in this world unless you know somebody who knows somebody and you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But you've got to start with theater, because that's the best training ever.
Yeah.
So,
Kids are
go
doing an amazing job. They're going to steal the show.
I know.
I'm a little
yeah.
bit bummed. It's fine. But they're so good. They're so talented. They work really hard. They've learned all the songs. Their dancing is cute. They're starting to really come to life, and they're wonderful to work with. They're really talented.
Good kids,
Yeah.
really good kids.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, when you do certain shows, is the one reason why I had the nuns after I cast on April 1st was an April Fool's joke. But when I cast everybody, I had the nuns rehearsing for a month, just themselves, because they do all their songs in Latin. So they really had to learn Latin and how to say the words. I can't say the words. I'm going to say
Hallelujah. Is one of the- That's the only one I know.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Guatem.
No, all the titles are, yeah.
Guatemillas.
I have no idea.
Something about
Constantine.
dominoes.
And guacamole. Dominoes and guacamole.
Yeah.
Those are the two favorite. And rabbits. Something. Rabiles.
I don't
know.
They
But
do it great.
they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
So the nuns, Opal Lawler's in there, and Aspen Folda, and Blaine Hartsock, Rihanna Medina. We got new people that hit the stage debuting. I think we have 10 people debuting on the stage. Kristen Burks, Joanna Krieger, and Chantal Severanson.
You're going to list all 10 of them?
They just did it right now.
That's 4.
That was,
I
That
know.
wasn't
Or
ten.
like 3 or 4.
Yeah. But that's the nice thing about it too, is that you get people that come to the stage for the very first time, like yourself, and it's a debut, and we welcome that. Because when you got on that stage, you may have always wanted to be there, and maybe you did theater in the past. I'm not really sure, but if the BK was the first time you were on our stage, you get bit by the bug, right? There's a bug that bites.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, definitely.
And you want to get back.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I just add that Maya was my wife in the last
Oh my
play she was in?
gosh, such a ladies' man.
I'm just saying.
You got two Marias,
I
you
got
got
two
Elsa,
Marias.
and you got
Got
Enchanted April.
Maya.
I got
Maya.
two ladies fighting over me in the
Man.
play.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a shirt with a beaver on it.
I
I don't know if that's a magnet thing
I've
or
got
not.
7 children, and from the looks of them, they do not have the same mothers.
That's right. That's right. It's that is kind of a funny joke because in amongst there's, I don't know, maybe it's just me in my head, but Nina Thornburg and her daughter Serena are both in the show, right? And so Serena, who plays one of the kids, obviously, it looks like maybe the captain got together with the help.
I was a sailor, lonely sailor in the ports.
You gotta calm your characters down.
I know, man. It's something else. But this is how much fun we're having. This is behind the scenes. This is how much fun we're having, and it's always kind of nice that when a rehearsal ends, or it just a get together for whatever reason ends, we're not leaving before 10 p.m. We're all hanging out there thinking about what we can do next and how we can help each other out. And so to me, I'm truly grateful for the cast that I have because they have been phenomenal up to this point. It's been amazing.
It's great to hear.
Adding on to that just really quick, Nina Thornburg was actually a teacher with me at Valley Oaks Charter School. She has a very small part, and she stays the entire time.
Oh, my gosh.
Never complains, and she's a board member with TCTA.
Yes.
She's such a loving, just a big-hearted person, just like Chris. They both have really put this whole show together and really, really helped everything. So
Yep.
it's been great.
Yeah. And I have to mention Lisa Meredith, who's my assistant director. She's quiet, but she's feisty. And she takes great notes.
Yeah.
And she's a very hard worker. She's actually a really, really good assistant director. She's learning more about theater each and every time because she didn't do theater until she really came here. So she's learning with each and every show that she's done, but she has directed a couple of plays. But she's the quiet, silent type. She's also an HR person, right? So she keeps us all... Okay, no, you can't say that.
Right.
I think maybe you should have a little warm circle and talk to each other. Like, no, I don't want to do that. But so she kind of keeps us all right there so that, no one flies off the handle. So that's kind of a nice balance to have, with an assistant director.
Oh, yeah. People of all types, as we were saying, experience levels, backgrounds, whatever, and personality types, too, to keep things flowing well. Because, there's a lot of big personalities in theater. So you need some people that can rein it all in. Let's keep things on track here, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Sound of Music is so well known. I'm curious to you guys, being in the show, being part of the show, why do you think this has been such a long-standing story and musical and film? It's celebrating its 60th anniversary as a movie this year. Why do you think it just stands the test of time?
Julie Andrews.
Julie.
Yeah, I got to say Julie Andrews.
Yeah, I wish she could be here.
Yeah, I know.
That's fine.
Well, wait, could we call her?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think really it's because it reaches all of us. I think it's one of those musicals. I mean, there's West Side Story and there's Gypsy in Oklahoma. There's a bunch of stories, right? Carousel, they all got a story behind them. But I think with Sound of Music, it reaches the heart of a lot of people that don't see life in a certain way that everybody wants you to be at that time. And now it's about family. And it's about taking care of your family. And it's about leaving something that's very dear to you. And for anybody that's, whether you're a teenager or a parent, or it doesn't matter. If you've had to leave your home for any reason, and you had to leave your family behind, or you have to take them because that's the only alternative that you have, to go someplace that you've never been before, that's a big deal for a lot of people. And I think that's what Sound of Music has done, along with the songs are so catchy. You want to sing something, Jamie?
No.
Okay. But the songs are very catchy. And Roger Hammerstein, Rodgers and Hammerstein, they are amazing songwriters and lyricists. And they have done so many musicals in the past. They just wrote something that just hit everybody with these songs. And were so easy to just catch on to. Do, re, mi. I mean, that's how you do singing, right? We all know do, re, mi. So why not? Why not have that? Edelweiss, what a tender song about a flower, but it's also about leaving your home. So there's so much about it that I think relates to people. And the fact that there's kids in it is always just something. And their challenge with their family to leave their own home to go to another place for safety, you know, and two people that got together completely opposite, a very rich captain and a postulant, you know, someone that came from nothing, that had nothing, that was wearing old shoes and an old dress, now is a governess and meets the captain and now has what the captain has, which is a family and a great life, you know, but then shares the pain of leaving her mountain, you know, and his home. So they kind of come together with all that. So I think that's just the magic of Sound of Music, more so than, you know, the Sharks and the Jets fighting, you know, in East LA and, you know, doing that kind of thing in West Side Story, or the Cowboys and, you know, in Oklahoma.
It's a great show. These are all great shows.
You know, it's not Sound of Music.
Yes, correct. You know, and it's all about finding home, finding love, and so relatable. Even with Maria, you know, she's trying to decide between following the path of God and living a very righteous life, or, you know, marrying the captain and being a mother. And she kind of realizes you can do both. And I'm kind of going, not that exact, you know, scenario.
Go to that path?
Maybe. I
Be a
did
nun?
used to want to be a nun.
You did?
I did. When
What
I was
did
a
you
kid.
want? That's a different
When I was a
story.
kid, here's my past, my childhood. I knew it would come up.
The childhood drama.
I wanted to sit in a concrete room and read books all the time. That's
think
what I
it's
thought being a
called
nun
a
was.
padded room.
That was later. But I'm at a time in my life where I'm deciding, do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? And I'm going to do both. You know, I'm going to be able to teach and act, and it's kind of an interesting journey. But it's all about finding your home. It's all about finding home, you know.
And a lot of people think, you know, that Sound of Music is a love story between the captain and Maria. And of course it is. But more than the relationship which is them, it's between them and the kids, really. It's Maria falling in love with the kids. It's the captain who's still grieving the loss of his wife. And the kids remind him of his lost wife. And so he's falling in love with his kids all over again through Maria. So it is this family coming together is really the core of the story.
Very nuanced, lots of levels to it. Sounds
There
like.
really
We
is.
fight Nazis.
And we
That
find out-
too. Yeah. Everybody can get
Nuns
behind
and
that.
Nazis.
Yes, everyone is on the same page.
Yeah. You know, I think when TCTA thinks about doing plays, right, it's a big thing about it. You know, we got to pick the right plays for our community, right? But if you think about it, every show has got, I don't know, either a gun in it or some kind of sadness in it or a death in it. I mean, it's not Shakespeare, but all those things happen. Even when we did Christmas Story, people didn't want us to do it because you might shoot your eye out, you know, even though you never even shot the darn gun and it was a BB gun, you know. But then there's Death Trap and he's killing his wife and, you know, and rolling her up on a carpet. So, I mean, there's all this kind of stuff that happens, right? And now we have Sound of Music with Nazis, right? And nuns. So, you know, it's kind of like we're all going, yeah, this is cool. This is great. And then who wants to buy the flag? No,
Not on my algorithm.
no,
Not on my Amazon.
No. Isn't that costumes or props? So, you know, and then it kind of touches you a little bit. So it's kind of cool when we put that on stage and you go, ooh, that's that flag up there.
Yeah.
You know, it touches people, and that's what you want out of theater.
Absolutely.
That's magic. That's theater.
And some of the younger generation, they had a hard time with our read-through because they thought, I have to say Heil, and they didn't want to. And both Chris and I, real quick, were like, yes, you have to.
Yes, I-
because we have to remember, we have to know
History.
History. It's very important to not to erase it. So when people see the flag, it's upsetting. And the captain chooses to run away, leave all of our beautiful house and our life and all the memories to go find a new life to stand up for his morals. So it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it really is. So that's what I mean. There's something special about it. I mean, all musicals are special in their own way, but this has got something about it, and I think that's why it's lasted the test of time and so many people have seen it. And 60 years, I mean, for corn's sake, 60 years. That's a long time
Yeah, it
to,
is.
you know, be a number one musical or movie.
You get one more corn's sake.
Corn's sake.
You literally have said it 2 times.
I love
We're
corn's sake.
2025.
Oh, sweet as peaches. Here's a new one. How about that one?
I don't know if I'd ever heard corn sick before
She says
today.
it all the time.
I like it. I might add that to
You
my
should keep that.
vocabulary.
Okay.
You and I are going to have a show called Corn's Sake.
All right.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
Has Sound of Music ever been done at the BK, as far as we know?
No.
Wow.
No, it's a huge show.
It's
Yeah.
huge. I had a dream, and we didn't know what musical to do. And so they wanted to do Willy Wonka. And I said, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Where am I going to get Oompas? Where am I going to get Oompa Loompas? That's offensive, I can't have children walking around orange and green. So, no, and it's too big of a show that we can't do the candy.
Set design,
and the set would be nuts.
costumes, all of it.
Who wants to slide down a chocolate thing? I mean, how are we going to make that?
Me. Everybody.
That's what everybody's.
Yeah.
But it's a messy show.
Yeah.
So out of my mouth came Sound of Music, thinking, oh, yeah,
Easy.
easy. No.
No.
This is a very tricky script. The music for it is extremely tricky. The pacing of it is crazy. The scene changes are fast. The costumes are enormous. I mean, there was so much to this that you don't really think about because, it's Hollywood, right? You see it on TV. How terrible could it be? But stage and TV are two different beasts. And so when we got the script for Sound of Music and started really looking at it, we're like, oh no, maybe we should have done Wonka. But
That chocolate slide isn't looking too bad
that's
now.
looking pretty good, Oompa.
Yeah.
So, but we all made it work. It's a village. It's not just because, Chris is directing. It's a village of people. No director can do any show by themselves. Nobody can. You have to have strong people who know what they're doing, and people who are patient and willing, and who really just I don't know, have something in their personality that other people can relate to so that they want to learn. I don't know what that is, what gene it is, but if you have it like these guys have it, I got, people are gravitated to you because you have that specialness, but you also are able to teach and give that back. That's super duper. I was going to say pooper at the end of that, but I thought
That's the other one she said.
Yeah, super duper.
And to be fair, if anybody else had directed it, I don't know if I would have gone out for it because Chris is the type of director has crazy ideas. Let's do Sound of Music on a teeny tiny stage. But I know she makes it work. She'll do everything she can. She has literally been at the Beekay Theatre every day, all day long, doing the set with everybody. And she has so much charisma that she gets everybody to work together. So I will follow her heart wherever she's going because it always becomes a magical, amazing show. And I'm so proud to be part of it. And I'm honored that you allowed me to play Maria.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you auditioned. I think it was
I
really
almost
good.
did. My mom is dead. It's awful.
You want to say that three
I
times?
do.
You said it twice
One more
already.
time.
It becomes magical when you say it a third time.
For
I wanted to
corn's
end on
sake.
that note.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I think, like we were saying, people who have been in theater, people who've been in TV and all that kind of stuff, there is something about them. There's a charisma, there's something about them. But you also have to have the respect of your community and the respect of your actors, so they want to come out. And thank Jamie very, very much, and Ben very, very much, and everybody in the cast that came out, maybe because I was directing it, or maybe it was just because it was Sound of Music. You don't ever really know, but I'm grateful because the cast that we have works together. And so I just know I cast well and I cast strong. And when you guys come and see the show, you guys are going to be blown away, even by the staircase alone. Because that's a human pushing stairs. It's
Several
something.
humans pushing stairs.
It's an amazing staircase. It doesn't look like that, but
It looks amazing.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, it's just cardboard.
It is. No, it's not.
No, it's not cardboard. It's tissue paper.
We were just talking about the staircase before we came in here and started the podcast. And yet since we started this production, we've been talking about the staircase. And we've
Yes.
only just recently think we might have figured it out, like a week before we open.
Yeah.
Oh, that's theater.
No better timing.
Yeah.
No better timing than that, right? But, certain pieces and shows are kind of iconic.
Yeah.
And the staircase is iconic.
And the window.
And
And the window.
And the window.
the window that she climbs through. We had to put a window on there for, 2 minutes
Yeah,
of a whole
it's
scene
just
that we
one.
never use again. It's now called cold storage because it's where the best air conditioning is in all of the theater. But, that's kind of the fun of sets. Is that you go, oh yeah, what can we do? And where can we put that? I don't know. Let's create a storage. Okay, great. And then you have to make it look like a window, or you got to make it look like part of the house so that people go, oh, that's really cool. But the patio comes out of it, and the altar comes out of it, and Maria walks out of it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, wow, this is amazing. So shows bring that kind of creativity out in a set, and you just never know. James Carhart is amazing at sets. He only touched very little on this one. I'm grateful he touched it. He put the big screen up there that we need for this show, and then it was was pretty much Mary Jane Utley, myself, and Lisa Meredith, and about 6 or 7 other volunteers that created that show, that created the set. So we hope you guys like it when all 3 of you come to see it.
Oh, we'll be there. I was
Okay,
excited
okay.
before in this conversation. I'm through the roof. Yeah, I'm super excited for it all. And I think that's what's always so fun, especially after intermission and the scene changes and the curtain comes up and everybody's, wow, so impressed by it all.
Yeah.
And then the cast comes out and the story keeps on going and it's amazing. But the set plays such a huge role in keeping the story going and really transporting people into wherever, the story's taking place. It's amazing. And the amount of work that goes into it, the volunteers needed is, I think, hard for people to comprehend if you've never worked into a play or show before. It's crazy the amount of work that it takes.
It is. And I have to put a little plug, I forgot, because I think we talked about this before we got on air, is Eliza Sullivan-Leto.
Yes.
She's 18 now, but I met her through Valley Oaks, and I think Jamie knew her then too, or met her at the same time. I think she was, 12?
Yeah, I knew her for several years before that. She was a little girl.
Oh, was she a little girl?
Little baby, yeah.
Yeah. So
But she's all grown up now, apparently.
all
She's
grown up.
18. I didn't know.
I know.
Yeah.
How old are you, Jamie? I was a horse. Just kidding. But Eliza was in a play
How
that...
dare you? I mentioned that.
You see that? You get
Yeah,
it
I'm a
now?
working actor. Nobody
Yeah.
knows my age. I'm
Yeah.
20.
Jeremy laughing.
Yeah.
So we did a play over at Valley Oaks, and Eliza had a little part in it. She said the word bingo. And
She was a nun.
She was a nun.
She was. It was Robin Hood, and she played a fighting nun.
Yeah.
They were doing karate. It was very...
And she said bingo.
Yeah.
That was her one line.
Yeah.
But she said it with such enthusiasm that it was like, I'll go see that just to hear Eliza say bingo.
Yep.
Right? There's some things that bring you to a show, and it was Eliza. Well, after that, COVID and all that hoo-hoo happened, and I was doing a T-Town, and there was a talent show for all of our local people. And her mom contacted me and said, could Eliza be in T-Town? I'm like, what does she do exactly? She goes, she plays the piano. And I said, oh, really? Okay, I don't remember that. Okay, yeah. She goes, I'll send you a video. I said, great, send that video. So she did. I was blown away. She was playing Bohemian Rhapsody, right? I was like, what? Yes, of course she could be in T-Town, of course. And so when Sound of Music came around years later, I thought, I want Eliza to play the overture for Sound of Music. Something that Beekay and TCT have never, that I know of, done is have live music play, because we don't have an orchestra pit. We have an orchestra here, but we don't have a pit for them to be in,
Right.
or any room really. But I thought, Liza on the piano playing the overture for Sound of Music. Yes. So back in April, I gave her mom the musical score, and she's been working on it still. It is a very tricky, very delicate, very hard, very mesmerizing piece. And when you hear it, and if you know Eliza, you will think, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. It is worth coming to see Sound of Music for, just to see Eliza.
Man, that's so cool. Incorporating new aspects into the show, even with it already being such a massive, complicated, big time show. So I think if people are listening and are not already sold as to wanting to come and see the show, I don't know. Is there anything else that you guys can whip out and just like
Well, we got
really?
a couple of senior citizens that we're bringing in for the
dancers.
the elder belts. Yeah. So we thought it'd be a great idea to get the seniors involved.
Okay.
So we're getting random seniors to be on the stage at the end of Act 2. So
love
there
it.
you go.
That's fun to watch.
The
yeah.
cherry on that
Yeah.
pretty cake.
Okay, so many reasons for people to come and watch. It's going to be a great show. Can we talk a little bit about, I mean, obviously, people got to go buy their tickets to come watch the show, but memberships are huge
Yes.
for you guys and keeping TCTA going. You mentioned the fine margins of budgets that you guys have to work with to put on a production. So how do memberships help with that?
So anybody can be a member, and if you're a student, I think the membership is $15 for the whole year. If you're just an adult, doesn't matter what age you are, 18 and over, it's $35 for the entire year. And what are the perks of that? Well, not a lot.
No, you get discounts. You get
discounts on
tickets.
tickets. Right?
Yeah, you get $5 off every ticket.
That's a big deal.
It's a big perk.
Yeah.
So for Sound of Music, it's $25 for a musical. You'd pay $20. For a regular non-musical, it's a comedy or drama, you would pay $15. So that's the perk at $35. But if you go a little bit higher, they have a thing called producer, director. If you go into a different level of that and you pay $100, I think you get like 4 comp tickets for the year. plus your $5 off. So it is beneficial to be a member. We would love to offer more perks, all kinds of things for people, whether it be like fundraising or some kind of grants or things like that to help other people. We just don't have that kind of money because we're a nonprofit and we don't make that kind of money. To buy a musical rights can cost you anywhere from $1,800 to $10,000. And so when you think about that, then you have to think about how you're going to make that money back. And you got to make that back in ticket sales. Well, we only have 115 seats. So, and we only, run the show maybe 12 to 15 times. So if you do the math, to pay back 10 grand plus the sets, plus costumes, plus everything else that goes with it, that's some big money. And so we can't do those big shows. So we have to really look at shows that we can afford. And membership helps with that. If you become a member, your money goes towards that. Some of our money goes towards a little fund called the Actors Access Fund or something like that, where we do help people who want to be members and they can't afford it. We'll pay for your membership for 1 year. But that's at this time in our life of TCTA, what we can do for the community. So just because, not that Beekay doesn't cost us any money, but to take care of the theater costs us money.
Right.
To take care of J Street, where we have all of our props and costumes and sets, that costs us money. And then, of course, to do the shows, that costs us money. So when we don't make a whole lot of money, then we expect the next show to kind of, make the money. And if we don't pick the right shows, we don't make any money at all. So we're at the mercy of our people. So membership really helps. Kind of just gets us through, even if it pays the light bill or the cleaning bill or whatever it is. It just kind of gets us through. That's what membership does. There's not a lot of perks, but the perk is $5 off. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, I will
That's
take
a big
it.
deal.
Yeah. So it's a great way to get involved, even if it is you don't maybe have the time or energy to, be hands-on with supporting TCTA. The membership is a quick and easy way to do that. And then tctaonstage.com is where you can buy the tickets, get your membership, see the upcoming shows, all that great information. I'm so excited for Sound of Music.
Real quick, Maya, with that, we have done big shows before, like Young Frankenstein, where tickets sold out. And it was really sad because people assumed they could get tickets at the door and we had to turn them away. I've never seen a show sell out faster than this one. We've kind of been keeping a track of it. And already one Sunday is sold out.
We have 5 shows pretty much sold out right about now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would highly, highly recommend.
She's on
We've got
We're pausing on the podcast to go buy tickets.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend not waiting. And we always do that little, tickets are selling quickly.
No, this is true.
This is true.
For
it
real
is
this
truly selling.
Yeah, I just sent this morning to the cast. Lisa McKenzie sends me every day, what the ticket sales are for every show. And these are not comps. These are sold tickets. So when we see that number, we're like, holy...
Corn's sake.
For corn's sake. Peaches and cream in a bucket of poop. So,
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's totally a thing.
Yes, that's a big saying. You could keep that one too, Maya.
All right. I'll write that one down.
But when you see those numbers, I think that one day it says 115 tickets. That particular day actually sold out once we announced, tickets are for sale. We kind of put a little Facebook thing out there. I think it was 3 days. That day sold out immediately. All the other days, for whatever reason, are now catching up. And so I think the other 4 days are within 10 to 15 tickets of being sold out. And unfortunately, we used to sell tickets at the door. We would hold some back and we would sell them at the door. But that became kind of crazy, so we don't do that anymore. Whatever online is online. When it's sold out, literally it is. But we do have Thursday, August 21st, which is our Friends and Family Night, and it's free. It's going to be like a sale at, Amazon or something. I don't really know, Prime Days. But it's free, and we only have 115 seats, but it's first come, first serve. So if you want to see the show for free and not pay any money at all.
But it is our last rehearsal. Let's be very clear. It's our last rehearsal.
It might be a little rough.
It's going to be it'll be amazing, but it's not going to be our polished,
Well, the next day should be.
It will be. After that night.
After that, right?
You need that last.
You do.
You're going to need it. Yeah. But it is a freebie that we offer to the community. And with a show like this, because you've got so many kids and so many people in the show, there are a lot of families that can't afford to go. So we try to give a free show so that people can. We also give comp tickets out to every cast member so that their family can come. There's only 2 comps per person, but at least it alleviates some of the pressure of buying tickets. You can also be an usher and watch the show for free. If you are a house manager, you get 2 free tickets, not just watching the show, but you do get 2 free tickets to see any show that the BK puts on. So there's those perks too about volunteering. You don't even have to be a member for that kind of stuff. You just have to volunteer. And if you do volunteer, like helping with the set or painting or doing the lights or sound, you also get 2 free comp tickets. So we try to take care of everybody that comes to the theater for whatever reason. But, I know what I forgot.
Oh my gosh. I know, I'm worried.
Raffle.
Oh.
We are raffling a basket on every Friday night.
Okay.
Oh, for God's sake. I forgot all about that. It's amazing. The baskets are amazing. Lisa Meredith and Blaine Hartsock and I don't know who else likes to go shopping. They put together these fantastic baskets, everything to do with sound and music, and they're going to be raffled off for like $5 a ticket. So there's another perk.
All right. There you
Oh, yeah.
go.
One of the-
I love it.
I think one of the gifts in one of the baskets is actually
it is.
a dance lesson for me.
That's dance lessons for
with
Ben.
ballroom dance.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
right. So Ben will spin you around the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Well,
might even marry you.
Yeah,
That's right.
He needs more.
I'm pretty sure he's taken.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not by Maria, but yes, very lovely.
Yes, Chelsea.
Yes.
Kelsey.
Kelsey, yes.
That sounded similar.
We were close.
So close.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so August 22nd, opening. Runs for 4 weekends. With the way the ticket sales are going, we're looking at a 5th weekend, but we don't know yet.
Ooh.
It's still up in the air. But
That's
it's probably going to
exciting.
happen. But it's still up in the air. I
They
think
say
it's
up
happening.
in the air, but they're also talking about a 6th weekend.
Yeah, that might
so-
happen too.
But first, we need to sell out the first 4
All
to
right.
make sure. So
Yeah.
People
Yes.
get
don't
on
rely
it.
on
That's
the
right.
5th or 6th.
So it's all fun.
Oh, yes. So much fun in store for people that check it out. I think if people have never gone to a TCTA show before, what a great place to start with Sound of Music. It's a great, a date night. If you got nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon, maybe, go to the
Sundays are
matinee.
sold out.
Oh, well, hey.
I'm just kidding. Only one of them.
One
Mischievous little monkey over there.
Get the rest of the Sundays then fast.
That's
yes, there you
right.
go.
Those are fun. You get
Yeah.
the church crowd in there, and it's a great time.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
But yeah, Sound of Music coming soon at TCTAonstage.com to buy tickets and for more information. Anything else, guys? I know there's so much fun to include.
There
in here.
is. Oh, in the lobby, there's a cutout of Maria and the captain. You can put your face in there and
Yes.
take pictures.
And some puppets.
Oh, it's a puppets.
Opal
We've got
made.
puppets
Yeah.
that old Martin made. She's Guy Martin's
Yeah, okay.
wife now.
Yes.
I don't know. He met her on stage. He did during 110 in the Shade.
Yeah.
Scandalous. No, I'm just kidding.
All the excitement of theater.
It is very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Well, guys, thanks so much for coming in. As I said, I'm excited. I think everybody listening should be very excited about the show. I know I've seen nothing but excitement and good words and just all positivity on social media, people talking about Sound of Music. So it's going to be a huge hit for the community, and it's just going to be a huge hit here in town. So thanks for coming in.
Thank
and
you very
sharing
much,
all this.
everybody. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Can't wait to see everybody come out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and you have questions or comments, you can email us media@tehachapiecityhall.com. But as always, thanks so much for tuning in. We hope to see you at Sound of Music, and I hope to catch you back here next time on THPod.
You've been listening to Tehachapod. If you have a question, a thought, or a suggestion, email media@tehachapiecityhall.com. We'll catch you again soon, right here on Tehachapod.